Hello, friends. I am Nina Adora. If this is your first time here, this might be my, I don't want to say premiere video, but we'll see what's up. It is 4:45 a.m. PST, and I just wanted to come on here. Like, I'm burning up. I'm so hormonal. I got on my Lilu wig. It gives sick girl vibes because that's what I'm going through right now. It's just like my nose has been bleeding all day. Now, this is not something new. I've dealt with this for like 30 something years, and that's why I'm here, because I'm like, who else go through this shit? Like, this is ridiculous, guys. I have my tissue here. I don't think I've been through a whole roll of tissue already. I got my bag here. Look, don't pay attention to the background. You see that calendar there? The date on it is January 2021. So that's where we've been. Like, that's when I started feeling the effects of 2020. Look, don't pay attention. We just not all together right now. That's why we try to find out who is, who, you got issues? I be like, with your invisible disability, what be going on? I need to have some conversation about it. Like, you probably like, why are you recording a video if your nose is bleeding? Just, if you sensitive, I would try to not show all the blood, but the perpetual death. Okay. Because what occurred, what had happened, I'm covering, I just want to cover the blood. I mean, like, I'm telling you I'm bleeding. You don't necessarily have to see the blood because it can be a little gross. It's not gross to me because I'm used to it and it's mine. Well, it's mine now. At one point, I don't think I had any of my blood. I don't make my own blood. I mean, maybe just a little bit at really small doses, and it takes a long time. My cells don't reproduce fast enough to accommodate how much blood I'm losing. So they're small. I put a video. They're shaped like hearts. They're shaped like this. Some of them, not all of them. They're shaped like this. And when you put them together, they make little hearts like that. So anyway, it's on my blog. There might be a QR code right here for you to go look at that, but there might not be. So if you want to go look at it and you are looking at this video and I'm telling you to go to my blog, then that means that I published it and made it public. Because right now it's still private because I'm still in a building level. Like, I'm trying to get it back. But anyway, going down the back of my throat, sort of chokes. Yeah, like, I wouldn't be able to go to sleep right now. It would not be wise because I would choke on blood in my sleep. Perpetual death, forever trying to kill me. But yeah, the ridiculousness. I'm not functioning. But hold up. I need to check something, so I'm going to be right back. Alright, I had to check on the music because Mariah was getting kind of loud. She was like, "'Cause I'm never turned her off. She was down low, but you could still hear it in the video. Like just that final last part, like the last 30 seconds before I said, I'm gonna go check something. Okay, so we're talking about the perpetual death. Now, I have to say this, that sometimes when I talk about the perpetual death, I go into talking about when I was suicidal, and it's important for me to have this conversation with you guys. Some of y'all might be suicidal, so we'll get to that if we get to that. If not, we'll get to it later. But I can't think. I just cannot think. Like, there is no blood carrying oxygen to my brain. I truly am an adorable bubblehead. It's Adora Bubblehead. Remember? Do you? Have you been around that long? One thing I can do, so it's not, because back in the day when I first started having nosebleeds, it was kind of like, I want to say taboo, because it was the 80s and it was the height of the drug era. So having nosebleeds, it pointed to somebody who sniffed drugs, who still to this day, what you been doing? Sniffing cocaine, what? And no, I haven't. So a lot of times I will just make it go this way, and then I'm just choking on it, instead of like actually having a nosebleed. It's in my sinuses. I don't know what's going on in there. We have never figured it out. They wanted to cut all into my face as a young child, and I was like, no, it's not gonna happen. Never. You will. No, I have never been cut into, for the record. No surgeries. Even when I had my son, I didn't have a surgery, so I've never been cut into. I got some scars. I done been bruised up, but I've never been cut into, and I wasn't willing to let them do that. But I'm so tired. I'm not tired in the sense where I should be, like literally I should be in the hospital dying somewhere. But I'm not that kind of girl. I don't just lay down and die. And then one of the problems that I'm having, like right now, because I don't want to be like just bleeding all over camera, and I'm letting it go back this way, is that it starts to coagulate. And it is now, I have a clot in here. So I either have to blow that out or choke on all the blood. Neither is fun, but give me a minute and we just go blow it out. Anybody else go through this? I have learned to have a good sense of humor about it. It's a little dark by now. Yeah, I'm that girl that has dark humor. Sick girls, you just have dark humor. Like, can I die already? And I guess this is the point where I should just go ahead and talk about it. Um, I guess I was about 27 or so, and I just had it. I was just like, this is too much bleeding. Nosebleeds every day, be hormonal, um, in the hospital all the time. They want you to take all these medications. And I'm like, I can't do it. They want to stick shit up your nose. Like, that don't hurt. But it's supposed to work, and it does not. Temporarily, but if it's only going to work temporarily, then no. I'm not going to cause myself additional stress. Just, we gonna deal with it as it is. So, well, that's my mentality about it now. When I was in my 20s, though, we lived life like we was in our 20s. We did all of the partying and drinking, which, if you know alcohol, or if you don't know even, alcohol is a blood thinner, so I'm not supposed to have that. So, I mean, it wasn't until I had a meeting with my doctor once. He was like, take care of yourself. And not until after. Pushing blood off through my ears. It's a terrible thing. It's real bad. I apologize if this is grossing you out, but again, I need to find some people to talk to about it. Not like medical professionals, but people who are having the experience, because, like I said, I'm hormonal, and I'll just cry like just randomly. So don't mind me if I get a little bit teary-eyed, because I'm just a little tired of feeling alone in this. Like, are there other people? Like, what have you been able to do with it? But let's go back. So I'm in my 20s, and I mean, like, I guess from the time before, I just got a new chair, and if I get blood on the chair, I will be upset. And this is why I don't buy nice clothes, because my nose is always bleeding and they get ruined. This is why I've never seen myself really getting married or whatever wearing white. It's like I'm having a menstrual cycle out of my face. But okay, whatever. We'll get through it. It's so... Baby, I need a minute. Okay. The struggle is real. Blood's getting in my ear, like in my ear canal, like just when I blow my nose, which I try not to do, but it's actively going to the back of my throat. I mean, whether I'm talking to you or not, ain't gonna make it stop. So we might as well be productive. And that's how I've had to come to learn to live my life, to just be productive around this. And it's a lot. In my 20s, I was wild childing out. I'll show you the size of these clots, but you don't want to see that. Nothing's wrong with me. I'm hormonal. Never mind the tears. It just comes from bleeding a lot. But okay. And choking to death. But in my 20s, I was hormonal. And I didn't know how to deal. And so I tried to hang myself like I had a canopy bed. Nobody, don't go try to do this to your shit. Don't do this to yourself. If you need to reach out, get help. Suicide hotline right there. That I promise. But I had a canopy bed, a wooden canopy bed, and I took a scarf and my dog was right there watching. It was not a good thing. But I didn't go through with it, obviously. I'm here. Yay! So after that, I took one of my notebooks and I was like, I can't tell if it's tears or blood sometimes. But I took a notebook and I wrote, I needed to know. I'm not someone who necessarily, I don't want to say I don't believe in God, but I can't say that I do. Just, it is what it is. How do you believe in something that's not, wherever your belief is, whether it's something that has been ingrained in you, like nurtured into you. I'm sorry. Anyway, in that moment, in my searching for this whole, what is the purpose of all of this, my meaning, I asked God. That was the terminology I used, even though deep down I just believe, I forgot about that. Deep down, I just believe that in the inherent goodness of all people without any external, just we're born good, and what happens after that birth is nurtured. We're born at peace most of the time. Not all the time, but you don't think of evil babies like the baby is, you don't think of Damien. So, you don't think you're finna give birth to Damien. You just don't think that. You might, but maybe I'm Damien. So you don't want to think that, but anyway, I asked God, I said, what is this all about? Because quite honestly, I'm like, what's my purpose in life? Quite honestly, I don't have to try to kill myself. My body is doing that already. Like, I'm just perpetually dying. Like, been dying my whole entire life. It's so annoying. I need to know who else go through this. I really need to know so I don't feel, because like no one gets it. The doctors don't even get it. They're like, how are you doing this? We're so amazed. I'm like, you've been knowing me for 20 years. What are you talking about? Like, what, like, literally, what are you talking about? And, oh, Jesus. Okay. We just go hold here for a moment, but, well, maybe not. Because all that's occurring is that this is just coagulating. So I can just, my options are to let it coagulate, or just let it pour out like a faucet. And, either way, it's coming out. So we just let it coagulate a little bit, and then just get chunks be like this big or bigger. It's not pretty. While you here watching, thank you for hearing me out. You're probably like, go to the hospital, girl, go get a blood transfusion. I've been doing well though. I haven't had a blood transfusion since 2019, which is amazing because I was getting blood transfusions once every year. And that was down from when I first started with my journey in this illness. I was getting blood transfusions 4 times a year. So to be down to 1 time a year was amazing. To be down to not having had one in some years, that's remarkable. So, like, and I'm still standing, I'm functional, I can get up here and go do some stuff, but I don't know now. I'm gonna have to readapt because I just lost blood, and when you lose it, your muscles get weaker. It's harder to breathe because you aren't carrying as much oxygen. You get hormonal. Listen. It's stuck. So, because we let it coagulate, and I don't really feel like blowing that hard. I want to clear up one misconception. Because I'm obviously raw here. People that's supposed to be close to me or family members or whatever, they be like, your nose bleed because you pick it, right? My nose bleeds because it bleeds. If I have to pick my nose, it's because I have to free a clot that's stuck in my head. Okay, I'm gonna just leave it at that because because this is what we actually go through. People don't, oh, you just have nosebleeds. Well, it's a little bit more than that, thank you. But okay, yes, I have nosebleeds. And I'm trying to be cute about it. So people don't, like, you could see how, like, if it wasn't as bad as it is right now, like today is a really bad day with the nosebleeds. literally have been bleeding all day since I woke up this morning. Well, yeah, I want to, like, heavily all day. Like, I'll have nosebleeds here and there every now and then. Sometimes I won't have nosebleeds at all, but this, like in June, I hit my head, like after my birthday. Like, I was sitting on my patio and the wall is like this, you know, like it's a wall, and then there's a corner, and my patio chair sits like in between the corner, but it broke on me and I hit the back of my head. So after I did have a nosebleed, I did notice some clots that were darker than the normal blood, like it had been sitting there coagulating for a little while. So I don't know, I may have saved myself from having an aneurysm or two, but I think that's what's still occurring. Like, I can feel tension in my neck. I got a slip disc. I can feel it all down in the middle of my back. It hurts. All of this side of my face hurting. All of this tooth hurting. Everything in the back of my head. Like, everything is on this side, because even though I hit my head a little bit off center, so it's more on this side. And so most of the bleeding is on this side. But what I noticed today, like, I don't know, I can't tell if this is not a pimple. You can see that it looks like shadow, but it feels like, sometimes it feels like there's knots in there, like tiny knots. And I was feeling that, and I was feeling that pressure, like all the way up to my eye socket. And I was like, you know, I took a Q-tip and I just like kind of clean it out in there. You know how far back they stick the COVID Q-tip up your nose? I wouldn't know. I ain't do that shit. But I had to put it all the way, like literally up to here, to, like, I guess release something. And then, so it was already bleeding heavily like this, but I don't feel as much pressure because I cleared those clots out. Anyway, so I've adapted to just having nosebleeds like my whole entire life. My body has adapted so that I don't really need the blood. I mean, like, I can function. I just have to be careful. And then I get tired a lot. It's interesting. Like, it's 5:18 a.m. I would be up or at work on a weekday anyway right now. So, not a big deal. But I usually only sleep in 2-hour increments. 3 if I'm lucky, 4 if I'm real lucky, but definitely not more than 4. Okay, help me, y'all, help me. I'm so sorry that you're watching this. But if you are, thank you for being here with me. I do appreciate it. Because I'm alone. I'm lonely. I ain't lonely. I mean, I'm a Gemini on the cusp of Cancer. I got enough imagination to not keep myself, to not actually be lonely. Like, I'm at peace. Like, I don't have nobody. Like, people will bring you their drama, but there's no one here for me to have drama with. Like, literally, there's no one in my life. I just talked to my mom again after a couple of months. Like, oh, that's my neighbor. She going to work this morning. Yeah, I just started talking to my mom again after a couple of months. We kind of got into it. Really just, there's my son. I was talking to my niece, but she's entitled, so that didn't work. ain't gonna even tell y'all about these entitled millennials, but okay. Anyway, and Gen Zers, like, who raised y'all? Us? My son got 2 jobs, so yeah. But anyway, so I be having these nosebleeds all the time, and I just want to know, is anybody else out there, y'all be having nosebleeds? I mean, and I'm not talking about some, okay, so I refrain from sharing my story a lot because I don't really want to throw my mother under the bus. My dad was always like, before he died, he was like, honor your mother. That's all he would ever say to me, because we have our moments, like, late as I've gotten older, we have our moments where we actually have a good relationship, but I don't want y'all to see all of this. Y'all don't need to see all of this. Okay. Okay. So, I was saying that I don't like to share my story that much because I don't want to throw my mom under the bus. I mean, like, we have our moments, but you know, I'm with all of these women who they have their platform on these shows, you know, and they talk about their struggles with their drug addicted mother specifically. And I relate to that so much. And I'm happy that they are finally speaking up about it. We don't want to throw our mothers under the bus. We just want it to be loved. Anyway, we just want to know why you couldn't make decisions in life that reflect that you cared about us. So with that being said, I don't know if as a child I got into some of my mom's drugs, and that's what's actually wrong with me, and she can't tell me. So it's a difficult thing. Okay. And so, you know, I don't know what happens. No one can say, oh, this is why you have nosebleeds. No one has ever been able to tell me that. Not ever. And so I'm over that. But it did get to a point where it was just too much. And I was like, I can't take it anymore. And you know, everything else in life seems to compound. You done broke up with somebody, he hurt you, your heart is broken, and you gotta die. Your friends are tripping. They, I don't know, just don't get you. So you gotta die. Your family judge you way too harshly. For what? I don't know. So you just gotta die. School. If it's school, is it work? Whatever it is, something that just make you feel like, I gotta end it all right here. That was me. Could you just imagine dealing with this like for your whole entire life? If you are, please talk to me. Because there's no one for me to relate to. I'm at a point where the blood, whether I have it or not, it don't matter. You might die if you don't have no blood, but I'm not gonna die. All that can just be, hurry up, go, get golden, just this was a new roll of tissue when we started. It is almost halfway gone. But anyway, I'm not, listen, don't worry about me. I promise you, I'm gonna be okay. I've learned to be okay. My doctor gave me the best advice that I ever received in life, and that is to take care of myself. And I've learned how to do that. It requires a lot sometimes, as you can see, but I'm doing it. Sorry that this video is long, but as you can see, I keep choking on my blood, so it's hard for me to talk. So like when I go, I don't know what my blood counts will be when I go back to the doctor, which I haven't been in over 6 months, which is fine because I can take care of myself. But he gives me a concoction that keeps me from bleeding. It has to do with iron. Like my blood count be like down to a 3. It's probably down to a 2 by now after the day. Might even, I won't make any speculations. I will just go get a blood test when I go to the doctor, or when I will go on campus on Tuesday when I go to campus to get a blood test. Since I can do that, it's only like $30 or so, maybe 40, but anyway, I don't have to. Oh, you're tripping. A lot more than it was. Oh, it's dripping a lot more than it was. really what I need to go do is smoke a cigarette, so I'm gonna go do that because the tobacco causes vasoconstriction, and since I don't have, my blood is not fortified with anything, even itself, it moves through my veins faster than normal, which could cause a heart problem. I'll come back to that, but the tobacco smoke helps to shrink the veins or clog them or whatever, something, so the blood don't move too fast. So I'm gonna go handle that, and I'll be back. All right, I'm back, and I went to go handle it, and we good. See, I can hold my head down. Nothing's coming out. It works. I had to do a little bit of crying out there. Got a little bit of emotion. I'm telling you, losing blood like that, it makes you hormonal. But when I cry and the smoking, like the mucus that happens when you cry and stuff, you be like, oh, snot nose and stuff. The mucus actually creates a plug, and the mucosal barrier helps to stop the bleeding too. So it's all good. We good. We learn how to take care of ourselves. But yeah, I want to know if y'all go through this. Like, what's your experience with it? I mean, you see what I just went through, and it's random. So it's like, have a job. What? I do have a job. Fortunately, it's work from home. So like today, you know what? I really like the job that, no, don't say really like the job that I have, but I'm happy with the job that I have. It's call center. I get to work from home. And the best part is that the highest amount of calls that I've had in one day so far has been 16 calls. And let me tell you, that ain't a lot at all, because I've been in call centers where you get 3 minutes to handle a call over an 8-hour period. So imagine how many 3 minutes that's in out of 60. I can't math right now, but you get it. 6 minutes would be 10 calls per hour. So 20 calls per hour times 8. So that would be like 240 calls per day. Yeah. So 16, I'm like, that's on a busy day. So that's real good. So I can do this. I have time to handle my health at home or whatever. It's not embarrassing, because when you're in public and you just have a random nosebleed, it is highly embarrassing because people think you on crack. And I'm like, never. I've already been predisposed to not do those kind of things. I smoke my green leaves, my happy grass, because I don't want to take happy pills. This shit is depressing. It can be depressing, but we already got through all that. We know how to do it. Nothing in life is so depressing anymore. Like, we done already got through that, so there's no need to go back to it. So people, they don't understand why I'm so happy all the time. And it's not that I'm just so happy all the time. It's just that I can't afford to be depressed. So no, it's none of that. None of that, okay? But really, I just want to know, anybody out there else dealing with this? Like, my blood count, again, I was saying that it's around, the last time I checked, when I went to the doctor in March, is September. It's October 1st. And I went sometime at the end of March, end of March, during spring break probably. Anyway, And it was like a 3 or 4, but I've been bleeding a lot since then. Well, actually, I didn't have like heavy nosebleeds or anything. I wasn't bleeding for the most part at all until the medication wore off. I don't know what he gave me, but I was loving it because I don't like really have a menstrual cycle. It's really random, but I was dealing with my niece and I noticed this. And, you know, she had her little 2-year-old. I love life. I love innocence. I didn't get to experience that really. That's a whole nother story we won't talk about right now. That's about a different parent. That ain't with us no more. So we just gonna let that one rest for now. But he was the most adorable little thing. It just brought so much joy to my life. And she's entitled and petty, so she took him away, and my body reacted to that. To, you know, like I started having a period. Like, I mean, it was spotting, but I was just like, this is new. I mean, because I haven't interacted with a child in a long time. Like, my womb is acting out and I got fibroids. We not having no more kids. So my body was just acting out, and I'm having a menstrual cycle. Nose started bleeding again. And, you know, like I said, I hit my head. So I don't go to the doctor. We homeopathic, and we've learned how to take care of ourselves. That's what we do over here. We know we can't have cinnamon because it's a metabolizer. We can't have ginger, it's a metabolizer. We can't have vinegar, it's a metabolizer. We can't have stuff that metabolize the blood. I mean, not spices and stuff, because they do it faster than, like, I mean, like, I can exercise and stuff, which I try to do sometimes when I have the energy, or if I'm feeling too stiff, then I will exercise, and that won't cause me any nosebleeds. But if I have some cinnamon, so mad, because I like peach cobbler. I love some cinnamon. I love some ginger and ketchup, barbecue sauce. You find out the ingredients in your food when you ain't supposed to have it. But anyway, so, like, I can't, my train of thought, this is why I was bubblehead back in the day, because I can't think. You would be amazed that I mean, I could be a straight A student if I didn't have people trying to sabotage me all the time. But okay, because I apparently am too cute. I'm in my 40s, bitch. I got some life experience. I know some stuff. I done been through some stuff. Let me be. But you know, everybody's tried. Well, I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of people come at me like, psh, 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 we taking shots, and I'm just like, psh, psh, psh. I'm still a straight A student. Well, not really. My GPA got dropped down to a 3.1 on the count of this last stuff. That video might be up. It might not. It might come after this, but it's the Hawaii video. So yeah, one of the Hawaii videos, the most recent one where you can see this background, me back in the office. That ain't, well, it was, the computer was on the other side, so you don't see this back here, but you know I'm on my computer. So I lose my train of thought a lot because I don't have enough oxygen going to my brain, but somehow I'm still knowledgeable. It's that whole short-term memory. I don't think that the happy grass helps with that, but whatever, it helps with the depression, that's for sure. Like, if I feel like I'm too emotional over, usually it's nothing, because I don't have anybody in my life, so there's nothing for me to really be emotional over. Like, if I'm having a good relationship with somebody, my mom or my niece at this point, because there's like literally no one else. I have no friends, literally none. Where are my friends at? They don't want to deal with this. It's too much. I'll be in the hospital too much. No one wants to go to the hospital, not even me. So I have no friends. I mean, I was a bitch in my 20s too. So, and my early 30s. And then I got into a relationship that caused me to be into isolation. We're not going to talk about that right now either, but I was in a relationship. So, you know, I'm that girl, sorry, not sorry, that my relationship is my relationship, and that's where my attention is going to be. Friends might fall by the wayside. It normally, well, I can't say normally, but for this particular relationship, it was a lot going on that I just didn't feel like putting out there. I didn't feel like sharing with. It was not a good relationship. So, I mean, there were some good times, but overall, it was toxic. So, I mean, and I'm used to toxicity. So, it's like, we can handle it, but should you have to? Probably not. So, I don't have no friends. That was the point. There's no one here. And I'm perfectly fine with that because I'm focused on what I'm trying to accomplish. And people, they get in the way because I try not to have problems. Like, I got problems. Stuff fall apart and you got to get it repaired. And you might not have the funds for it, or, you know, just whatever. You know, usually it's financial, but I got a job right now. So I don't really have any worries. I get to shop on Amazon. I be wanting to do hauls, but I'm lazy. I don't want to edit videos. If you see this stitched together, that means I did good. You'll have to see it stitched together. If I put in some special effects, since I finally am able to transfer all of my content onto a external hard drive, that's been a process, but you'll hear more of this story. I just, in this video, really want to find the people who are dealing with, you could be dealing with anything, quite honestly, at this point. Just leave a comment. I'm not even asking you to subscribe right now. I mean, if you want to, don't hesitate. But that was not the goal of this. I just want to know who else goes through this. Like, it's invisible. So people look at me, especially because I defy the odds of, like, textbook. The textbook said I needed a blood transfusion when I was at a 7, when my blood count dropped to a 7. But I've been living lower than a 7 for some years now. So we've been beyond textbook. I'm in a new territory. The doctors are in a new territory. But I don't think it's new in the way that we, it's only new in the way that we perceive it, because we've developed all of these standards to signify what healthy is or whatever. Like, I'm a vampire. I'm from that era. Some part of me is a vampire. Look, I need some blood. I don't really need it though. So I don't want to say I'm sensitive to light, but because I love the sun. I was born on the first day of summer. You can't find me doing nothing else. You can find me in the sun, by the beach, near some water, swimming pool. That's my thing. That's what I need in life. Just because I'm an elemental, and my elements are air and water, And so what soothes me the most. Like, I just need to submerge in some water, and life will be all better. Just go submerge in some water. All them emotions will clear right up. And they do. So sometimes it's a matter of only having to drink some water, and that's nice. But submerging in some warm water, ooh, thinking of it now. I need a swimming pool, my own private swimming pool that I can go. Well, I would say I would go skinny dipping in it, but I probably wouldn't. Maybe, depends on how much privacy there is away from the neighbors. But yeah, if you go through this, I even want to hear your stories about your invisible disability. Because it's different. It's different. People don't see that you have, and they don't see that you sick. Like, even if I come out the house looking like this, I am pale. Like, I'm pale. See, so this is a little bit darker, but this would be more, like, it's gray because there's no blood, so there's no color, like no red, no undertones. But this would be my natural color. Like more right here, I guess. Maybe like right here. This would be my natural color. But you see all of this, how pale it is. People don't think of you as sick. They just like, you just don't got on no makeup. Why you don't have no makeup on? And why you ain't got on no makeup? Just like, cause I woke up and I was sick and I didn't feel like putting on no makeup. What? So you get to see that I'm sick. Sorry if that offends you. Not sorry. Because I have been typecasted as a pretty girl, and I've never been that. I've always been the ugly duckling. Bald head. She bald headed. So still look cute. Yeah, the health be like, girl, you don't have enough nutrients, so we gotta cut some stuff out. That means your hair not gonna grow. That means your teeth might fall out. People don't get it. It is just like when you don't look like, I felt like looking pretty today, or trying to hide the fact that I actually struggle. I know I make it look effortless sometimes, but I do struggle a lot sometimes. Sometimes it's painful. Like, it hurts. Like, my body will just start hurting so much. But, you don't get down about it. You just press on and keep going, because that's all you can do, other than lay down and die, which I refuse to do. We already tried that. The death said it's perpetual, so you get to live while dying. How does that work? Forever. I might live forever. I'm like, listen, we gonna go for it. I want to try to be the oldest living person ever in my condition. Not just in my condition, not just for my condition, but just because I think that I will be capable of living forever, because I don't have in my blood those aging factors, I guess, or I don't know. I still look like I'm in my 20s, and I don't. people are, even when I don't have on makeup, apparently I still look like I'm in my 20s. I'll be like, I don't see it. Where? 20? Where? They're like, well, maybe 28. And I'm like, 28? What? I'm like 25. But anyway, it's fun. But people don't take me seriously. And that's fine, because I don't take myself seriously. Like, I got mad jokes. They're funny to me, at least. Dark humor. Dark humor. The clock on the screen, what is it? To sleep, what is it? It's telling me that I've been recording for too long. But we talking here, and y'all got comments that y'all want me to respond to about what you go through. Look, wait. I'm not here for your sympathy. I can't feel sorry for nobody. I can't feel sorry for myself. Makes it real difficult for me to feel sorry for other people. So if you want to leave a comment that you are looking for sympathy, then the other commenters are gonna have to provide that to you, because I refuse to be like, oh, I'm so sorry that you're going through that. I do that at the job. In real life, oh shit, life is tough, right? Because I'm going through it too. Yeah. So if you want to leave that kind of comment, I'm not going to stop you. Just don't be negative. We not about that here. All negative comments will be deleted up on no questions. As soon as I see it, delete, and you might get blocked. So don't leave no negative comments. We not about the negativity here. Yes, that was gross. All that blood. Believe me, I know. I live with it. I already having bloody tissues everywhere around my house. And it's like, because I'm not going to carry around a tissue bag with me everywhere. That's ideal, but that's not real. As you can see, it's just not real. But anyway, I'm going to live forever. Because of the perpetual death, it works. Because my whole thing in life is based upon like opposites and balance, the way things are balanced. So to be living and dying at the same time, like this is a perpetual death. Like, I'm dying, like literally I'm dying. The textbooks say that I'm dying, but if you see me in real life, ooh, the sun's almost coming up, you're gonna say that girl is living. Well, maybe like if I ain't at home sleep, or if I'm out and about or whatever, you will say me. You see me in my little convertible sports car, exceeding the speed limit. She is living. So it's gotta balance these things out. So if I can live to be the oldest person ever, that would be amazing. We get back to that history before history. Like, we don't understand all of that. They say that people was living to be 300 years old. How did they do that? Is that real? Is that a metaphor for something? Is it, we don't really understand all of that, because our knowledge of what a lifespan should be is max you get 100. We see some people that's 110, 111 years old, but after that 112th year or so, 115 years, that's a long time. They gone, and I don't know if that's because they just get tired of being here. Just, you die when you just get tired of living. You might, like, if you're just old and you don't have anything going on or whatever, not outside of the norm of old. I got nerve calling somebody old, right? But you know what I mean. Outside of old, you still, you've been living your life and you made it past 100. Be like Betty White. She didn't want to live past 100. She was like, I got 99 years of life and another bitch ain't one. So she left. You just get tired. Or you stop moving because you're tired. Once you stop moving, you really will die. So that I do know. But yeah, I'm not gonna be the oldest. Well, yeah, that's what I just said. I'm gonna be the oldest person. I feel feverish. Well, because I was like, it's cold out here. Like, I'm in Vegas. It's not that it doesn't get cold, but it seems colder than it normally would be. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's because you was just bleeding. But it's been about an hour, and I want to thank you for being here with me. I am going to go try to not die in my sleep. Try to get some sleep. That's the real part. I have 3 more hours. Maybe about 3.5 more hours. She better not take that extra. She better not get here at 10. She said she was going to be here at 9. The green grass lady, the happy grass lady, said she was going to be here at 9. Because I called myself trying to not run out. But since I have no transportation, I only pay $30 to go Uber to, to my spot that I'm loyal to, where they got a free 8th waiting on me. It's just gonna have to keep on waiting. So I ordered a delivery, but it was too late. So, cause like my spot delivers, but they don't accept cards for delivery. And I'm like, if I felt like leaving the house to go get cash, I would just go to the dispensary. But I don't feel like doing either of those. So I had to order from a different place. And the girl was really nice. She was like, I'll just put you in as the first order for tomorrow morning. I was like, cool beans. So that's supposed to be at 9 o'clock, which is in about 3 hours, because we didn't sleep. Yeah. I mean, no, we did sleep, but we slept earlier. So, because I would have to be awake at this time anyway. So my body is still adjusting. But I don't think I'll be sleeping that much anytime soon. Interestingly enough, the more blood I lose, the less I sleep, the less I eat. I like eating. Eating is one of my favorite pastimes, Like, I love food. Love food. Like, food. Good food. And I've been wanting to have sushi, but my son is too busy for me. Like, he act like he just don't have no time for me. I don't know what I did to him, but like, I thought I was sending you to Thailand. Why are you not trying to be bothered with me suddenly? What did I do? Did I say something? You done heard something? I don't talk to nobody, so if you did hear something, can you let me know? So I can know what it is. But the kids. Yeah. So, since I don't really feel well anymore, like, I feel my stomach, because I'm not supposed to swallow the blood. And I try to not swallow the blood. I don't think I swallowed the blood, but I may have swallowed the blood. So anyway, I'm gonna say bye here. Thank you for listening to my rant and watching me through my illness. I appreciate you being here, because no one else cares. They're like, bitch, we over it. You've been going through this for 30 years. This is not new. You should be over it too. And I'm like, if only I could get over it. If only I could get over choking on blood all of the time. That would be so fantastic. But okay. So this is part of my lifestyle. welcome. I will catch you all on the next note. Take care. Bye.